but said that they believe it was diverticulitis.
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 And very painful.
Diverticulitis.
Let's all say it simultaneously. On three. 1, 2, 3.
Diverticulitis. Okay, we all said it right. Okay.
I used to take the rings that are around that hold on the cap for milk. You know, I'm talking about it like breaks off. Like I said, it assures you that it's fresh, it hadn't been opened.
Yeah, the seal.
Yeah. So I take that off. I turn it inside out because it had spikes on it, and then put it on my wrist. I would hit you with it. Not really. I never hit anybody with it. But the plan.
As always, our show is sponsored by the Invictus Clinic in Woodstock, Georgia. They offer help to patients with major depressive disorders, postpartum depression, bipolar depression, OCD, PTSD, and severe anxiety. Severe depression takes a huge toll on your everyday life, and ketamine therapy offers a chance to find hope again. Many patients have tried numerous oral medications, but have found little to no relief, as well as difficult to tolerate side effects. Ketamine treatment is highly effective and safe. It's time to get off harmful medications and start living again. If you're in pain, get help from the Invictus Clinic in Woodstock, Georgia. Give them a call, 770-850-1042. Hello, friends. How are you guys doing? Wick, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, Scott, how are you?
I'm great, man. How are you doing?
I'm tired, man. I actually was sick this week.
I know it wasn't COVID, was it? It was just a short-term
COVID.
sickness.
No COVID, no AIDS. Actually
sure?
has now Wick.
AIDS.
You guys might know what it had the correct pronunciation because apparently I'm saying it wrong, but it's diverticulitis.
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 Is that where you can't eat tomatoes?
Yes. Also, popcorn's terrible. No, I've been battling with what I thought was a painful bout of gas. That was extremely painful, and it started like Monday. And I was like, man, I got this bloated feeling in my intestinal region. I'm like, man, this is vicious, and kept going on. And my wife's like, and it would give me these sharp, intense pains in my right underneath my stomach. And I'm like, it felt like somebody was stabbing me. So I was worried about my appendix and everything like that. So it kind of wasn't too bad. But I'm one of these people that as soon as I can't sleep, like as soon as it gets involved with me not being able to rest, that's when I'm like, it's serious because I'm a monster when I don't get enough sleep or when I'm woken up too early. And Wednesday night, it was like, maybe it was Wednesday night, Thursday morning. I woke up at 5 a.m. and this stabbing pain is just going on. And I'm like, I'm done. I'm going to the doctor, whatever it takes. And so I called them and they took me in, did some x-rays and gave me some like antibiotics, I guess heavy antibiotics, like 1,000 milligrams, but said that they believe it was diverticulitis.
Diverticulitis.
And
diverticulitis.
Let's all say it simultaneously. On three. 1, 2, 3.
Diverticulitis. Okay, we all said it wrong. Okay, but so I got X-rays. I mean, the biggest thing was get X-rays, make sure there's no tumor there or something, or anything like that. So nothing there, but they were like, okay, so they gave me some antibiotics. It's been pretty good, man, but it was a rough time there, and they wanted me to go get a CT scan, and I was like, okay, and they gave me the stuff to drink, and I'm thinking, man, how much is this CT scan going to cost me? And so I called and I was like, how much is this going to cost me? They're like $1,400. And I was like, yeah, I think it's diverticulitis. I'm good. And so, but I've been fine since then, but it was a rough go for about a week there. And it kind of messed up my timing with the guy I hired to help me do my stock investments. Do you guys ever use Fiverr?
No.
Does that help diverticulitis?
No, it actually makes it worse. Trust me. So Fiverr, Fiverr, I believe, Anyway, you'll find it if you type that in. It's kind of like a weird, like Pinterest for people who have skills. And let's say that you're a music producer, or you're somebody who's good with marketing, or somebody who's good with social media and like, SEO stuff or search engines and all that stuff. You can go on Fiverr and you can say, for this amount of money, which is usually pretty cheap, I will help you do these things. I will help you do a commercial for your business. I will help you be better at SEO for your, website. And I got this wild hair to say, you know what? I'm not very good at the stock market. So I'm going to find one of these day traders to tell me what to do so I can make really fast money and get super wealthy by the end of the week.
You can't do that.
Okay. So I go on there and listen, I go on there and I'm like, all right. And I'm just like, first of all, if this is going to cost a lot of money, I'm not doing it because it's going to end up being a failure. If it's reasonable, I'm going to do it just A, for the show, because I think it would be funny, and B, to see if this really works, especially if there's not going to be a lot of money lost. Found this dude. I told Wick about this. I found this dude and I'm like, all right, I'm going to run this guy through the ringer, questions about investments and what he does and, how he makes his money, how much he thinks I can make, because he's available and he's only going to charge me $15. So I'm like, all right. So I get in touch with him. I'm like, hey dude, listen, I'm like, what do you do? How good are your investments? Do you think you can do this with me? Here's my situation. This is how much I'm looking to invest in. It didn't matter what this guy said because his name is Darth Trader. And I was sold. This dude could have told me he was buying poo-poo stocks. And really, like, he could have told me I blow $20,000 a month on stocks I lose on. But I think I can help you. I would have been like, here's my $15 just for the fact that I love the name Darth Trader.
So he only gets $15. That's it.
He gets. It's it's kind of like it's like having a drug dealer. He gets my $15, and then he daily sends me invest in this, buy this much of this, sell it at this. So like he legitimately, as soon as me and Darth Trader got in our relationship, now he was probably thinking, "There's no way," because I was giving this guy the third degree, and he's probably thinking, "There's no way he's going to hire me," But I was sold at Darth Trader. And that's the part that was so funny to me is like, this dude could tell me anything. And I'm like, I'm in because you're Darth Trader. And
you didn't give him any bank routing information.
No, now Fiverr's interesting. So yeah, I mean, like if you're going to pay through Fiverr or PayPal and you pay them and they deliver. And if they don't, then you let Fiverr know and they remove them and they're blocked from. But it's supposedly legitimate people that are doing it, like especially with COVID, a lot of people out of work. So like you could find a tutor for your kids. You can find, it's professional stuff too. It's not all bad stuff, therapist or whatever. Like people, they're just looking, there are people that just straight up like advertise giving you like love advice or whatever. So it's everything you can imagine. Car mechanics, like somebody says, hey,
life coaches.
We'll go live stream and I'll tell you how to, take this off and put this on and try to repair your car and we'll try to find out what's going on with it. And that's $25. Like it's a really kind of a cool concept. And so that's how me and Darth Trader entered into our relationship. One that I don't think will last very long because it's been pretty bad so far.
He hasn't given you any good advice. That's what I was waiting to hear.
Yeah, none.
No. We've lost some money. Me and Darth Vader.
God damn it,
Darth Trader in this relationship. We've lost some serious cash.
What did he get you to invest in?
Well, it was kind of like, it wasn't that bad, dude. So he's like, well, I want to be cautious with this guy. So he's like, well, how much do you want to start with? I'm like, let's do. This is a lot of not a lot, but this is some savings I saved up just to put into the stock market. So I'm like, you know what? And I dare not tell him how much I have actually, but I was like, let's start with $250. He's like, okay, cool. He was like, there's this little gold company out of South Africa, and here's the name of their stock.
You should have right there. South Africa.
I mean, it's a legitimate company. It is.
There's this Nigerian prince.
Yeah. But no, he was
in
like
Nigeria.
But here's what he said. He said it's at $8.20 right now. Put 200 on that. Sell it at $9. Make yourself 80 cents per share. So it wasn't anything major. He wasn't telling me to throw $1,000 into something. He was like, take the money, stop it at $9. Do not go over that because it's going to come back down. But I have I guess people follow these little trends and stuff. And he was like, I think it's going to hit $9. There's no guarantees in this game, but I'm putting money on it. I think when it hits $9, take your 80 cents and pull your 80 cents per share out. That'll be whatever the amount was. It was almost another $200. And he was like, pull that back out and don't go over it and stop it when it gets to this level if it goes too low. Well, I didn't put the too low part in. So it went really good. And as soon as I put my money in, it was like magic fingers. This thing starts taking off. And I'm like, oh my God, this little dude for $15 I'm going to get so freaking rich. It's going to be sick. And then I'm going to have to find somebody to kill him so that nobody ever knows that this is what I did to get wealthy. But no, I'm legitimately, this is great. And it was kind of fun because like I said, it was $15. So it was kind of fun to get these text in the middle of the day, invest, buy blanks, concrete at $11.29, sell it at $12.15. I'm like, okay, put my money in and wait. And they would take off. And I'm like, here we go, baby. We're on the log ride now. All we got to do is get to the top. We're coming down. And we never got to the top. It was just kind of like, yeah. We'd get really close and it would be bottom would drop. So far, me and Darth Trader are on a bad start so far. But I don't know. The market's been weird. All these people from...
Well, I'm no Svengali, but the only real way to make money in the market is long term, right?
Sure. And I do have long term. I have Amazon and I have Google. All that stuff's down right now. But I do have majority of what I have in those.
And you use Robinhood?
Yes, I do use Robinhood. I just
downloaded it a couple of days ago.
I haven't checked my Robinhood lately.
Because there is something that I've been looking at this past week.
Robinhood gets a lot of crap, but here's the deal. It's one of the only places where you can invest fractional shares, which means that you don't have to buy a $3,500 share of Amazon to own it. You can put $10 into Amazon and own $10 worth of Amazon stock.
Oh, okay. So they do that.
Yeah, fractional shares are great. And
so you're sharing it. They put all the money together of people who do that to share it, to buy a share, right?
Right. They'll sell you $10 of Amazon. I'm sure there's a level you can't go too low. But if you wanted to put $200 into Amazon, Amazon's let's say Google's $2,000 right now, a share. If you want to throw $200 into Google, you can. They just give you that percentage of one share. So $200 of the 2,000 you own.
I got it to look at the cryptocurrency to start. I started checking into that. I didn't realize you could buy and sell the actual coin.
Yeah, you can
on this app.
There's 4 legitimate cryptocurrencies now.
Well, Elon Musk has been pushing Dogecoin, huh?
I don't think, man. I just don't think that's going to be legit. I really don't.
But it's Elon Musk. He tweets about it once a day, at least every day.
But I think
I just believe in this guy.
I think Tesla's overvalued tremendously, though. I think people invest in Elon Musk. They don't invest in Tesla because Tesla is by share. I think Tesla's like $800 per share right now. That company is not worth the trillions of dollars that people are putting into it. It's not.
No. Well, he's about to put the.
But I think people are invest in Elon Musk.
Well, yeah, I think that's true, Jay. I think his word is gold. That's why when he started tweeting about it, Dogecoin shot up immediately. It's kind of like the Reddit thing with GameStop. So that was my thought on this. And plus, I started looking into it. They predict it. There's people that are predicting it to be worth $1 to $10 in the next 5 years. So why not just you can do these cloud mining services. You just sign up, and it's some places they say it's free. I haven't actually dove into it yet. I don't think it can be totally free, but they just mine it for you, which means they're solving the algorithm over and over, and they get you almost a coin a minute, and just pay them for 6 months or a month or a year, and let it go. Now, if that,
I don't know.
I don't think there's a lot to lose there. Especially right now, it's 0.05. I'm sorry, what?
I mean, it's not even a full, like, what is it like?
Yeah, it would be.
It's 0.05 a coin is what it's worth right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Elon Musk, I don't know. He's impressive, but he's also admitted he's kind of crazy. So
I think he's an alien.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like
I think he is absolutely an extraterrestrial.
All right, have you seen the Mack trucks he's about to put out?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's amazing, but it's almost like when he answers a question, he waits for it to download from the mothership. Like he thinks through everything, which is he's obviously highly intelligent. You know what I mean?
We're supposed to have Neuralinks next year. Like, it's weird. He'll say something that, like, normally you're used to hearing. Yes, and we'll have this in 30 years. Well, he'll bring it up and he'll say, "Yep, and we should all have it next year." Yeah, he wants to be on Mars in I think it's 2027. Where last I heard that was 35 some years down the road.
I just think, like, with Tesla, yeah, it's great. I mean, like I said, it's $800 a share. It's not worth what people are paying for that company at all in any way, shape, or form. That company's worth a couple of billion. Those shares of stock basically make it worth a few trillion. It's not worth that. People are buying into Elon Musk, and I agree with you. I think he's really brilliant, and I don't even know that Tesla's really what he cares that much about anymore. Like, I think Tesla got him funding from the government to build these cars, and he did some really smart stuff with it. But I think it's just, I think it's a hobby, and I think he's moving on to bigger things. And I think Tesla is probably not going to have his attention as much as it did going forward. So I don't know if that stock sustains or whatever, but this is not a stock show. But Darth Trader didn't tell me what to do with Elon Musk. So I can tell you, I'm sure I'll get a text on some cryptic text on Monday, but it is like having like a bookie or a dealer that's like sending you these plays, and I will find for this show, I will tell you this much. For football season, I will hire a bookie from
don't
Fiverr.
do it. Don't do it.
I will. I
did that one. You can't win.
We will.
Because
I'm going to see how good he does. It's, I mean, if somebody's going to, for let's say $20 a month.
I tried it for 2 years. I won nothing.
I know a guy who was really good at it. He was good at it.
Beating the spreads.
I gave up.
He used to have a podcast. He was really good at it.
Bet on the storybook ending. Like this year. Bet on Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Everybody should have did that before the season started. As soon as they knew he was going down there, everybody should have placed bets on Tampa Bay winning it all.
Well, maybe somebody on Fiverr would have seen it. I don't know. I'm gonna hire somebody. I'm gonna hire a bookie, or not really a bookie, but a pick maker. We're
going to be doing a show in a year about how you lost a ton of money.
I know, it'll be hilarious. But yeah, me and Darth Trader off to a bad start. I'm going to give Darth Trader a real opportunity. We're not going to cut out too early on him. I'm gonna roll with him. I paid him for the month, and we're gonna see where we end up at the end. We're gonna see it. I could end up saying, "Hey, you know what, Darth Vader." I may promoting Darth Vader by the end of the month, but right now, Darth Trader. God,
I just downloaded the Fiverr app. So I'm trying to.
It's pretty cool. I mean, don't just because Darth Trader has not given me any wealth yet doesn't mean run away from Fiverr. I think Fiverr's very cool, but it's like just people. I think it's really because of COVID. It became a big deal because there's so many people at home, maybe working from home, and they needed like a secondary income, and they were like, I know how to do this, or I know how to design. I know how to do this stuff or that stuff, and I can might as well get paid to help somebody else do it. So yeah, but I mean, like he sent me some advice. I haven't followed it because I'm a little nervous at this point, dude. Like we haven't lost a ton of money. We haven't lost a ton of money, but it doesn't look good. We'll put it that way. We can recover, but it doesn't look good, Wick.
Can get back to even and pull out.
Well, when I get back to even, I'm just going to bet on Darth Trader even more because I'm going to be like, you know what? You came through. I'm going to see what now listen, the week was bad. Didn't lose a ton, but his, the guy's not Nostradamus. We'll put it that way. So I'm gonna see if the market's been bad. It's possible Darth Trader delivers here. And at the end of the day, we're all good, And if he pulls this thing out, I'm gonna keep rolling with him. But I'm not gonna invest a lot of money. But I mean, it's like, hey man, buy it at $11.05, sell it $1. If it's $11, $1.15, sell it when it gets to $2.10. That kind of stuff. So you're buying like 100 shares of something and trying to make a little dough off of it and roll it around, but just be cautious of Darth Trader if you see him on Fiverr.
I've made $4.55 on Robinhood.
I lost so much money.
You made $455.
$4.55.
Oh, okay. Good job.
Hey,
did you just invest in like random things?
Yeah.
Where you saw trends?
Yeah, they it's just where they take your money and spread it out.
Oh, so kind of like a 401k, kind of the way they do it.
The way they do it, yeah.
Was it like a EFT or something? Like where it's a bunch of companies. Somebody buys a bunch of companies and you put money into it, and it basically puts an even amount of your money across like 20 different stocks. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good way to go.
Here's my plan with the since downloading the Robinhood app, and it's going back to crypto coin, but it's still the same subject, investing. The Bitcoin's around 50 grand a coin right now, which is insane to me because I remember when it was $300 a coin, and I started to build a mining machine, and it was going to be able to turn out one coin a year. And
how do you build a mining machine?
There's tutorials on YouTube, and they sell these things that they build. They're little processors, and they're on Amazon. I can't remember what they're called, but if you look up the tutorials, they'll tell you. And you buy the circuit board and everything for it, and all it does is run kind of like a CPU that specifically these things specifically are designed to solve the algorithm that mines the coins. And the more you have, the faster it works. But that's
so it's like an Enigma machine.
Yeah, I mean, you can build like one that costs you $5 grand, but you can do this
from
one
World
for
War
a couple
II.
$100.
I thought you meant from like Batman with.
No, that's how they broke the.
Wasn't that just like a blender that attached to people's heads and like broadcast their?
No, it's how they broke the code. The Nazis code.
What are you talking about? What?
The Enigma machine.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how you mine for coins online.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't.
Well, it's like it's just like a little CPU that you build, and it's hooked up to your computer, and it's you put the wallet on your computer, and it turns out usually it says a coin a year for the one that I wanted to build. That seemed at a reasonable price to do it. But
it sounds like
I would have probably 5 coins right now if I did that, and because we're looking at the fact that the algorithm will get harder, so it's going to take more and more longer and longer to solve the algorithm. So
what's the algorithm?
This was 8-9 years ago when I looked at this.
Hold on. So if you'd have done this 8 or 9 years ago, you'd have 250 grand in your pocket.
It's looking like that.
50,000, right?
Yeah, right now it is fluctuating between 45 and 57 grand every day.
So for those people that don't know, we're talking about Bitcoin, which each Bitcoin is worth like 50 grand right now per Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott lost $250,000 because 9 years ago he didn't get a machine that would give him 5 coins to farm.
Oh, yeah, because I was like, a year? Fuck that. And so I was like, I didn't make it.
5 years later, 250. $8,000 slips through your butterfingers. That's
So I bought Netflix.
Who would have imagined that one coin, one cryptocurrency that doesn't even, it's not even a, it doesn't even really exist except for in the cyber world, was going to be worth that much money, and people were taking it seriously.
That is weird.
You can turn around and sell it. And so now I'm looking at watching it when it goes down to around 40 to 45,000, buying $100 worth. When it gets up to about 57 or so, when it goes up, just turn around and sell half of what I make, and just try to keep building on that. Plus, like, I want to throw like 100 down, or mine it through a cloud service of the Dogecoin.
Would you like me to run that plan through Darth Trader and see what he?
I don't want. He can, yeah.
I will. I'll run that through. Wick, what were you going to say? I'm sorry. I think we cut you off.
Oh, I bought Netflix in 2004.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and then I sold it like a year later.
What'd you buy? What'd you pay for it?
I got like 200,
Jesus,
and I
dude.
made like $5. So,
and now it's like 500 and something bucks, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought about buying some Netflix. People are like, "Man, I didn't know that this was a investment show." It's actually not. We just thought it was funny that I hired a guy named Darth Trader. But I wanted to buy some Netflix, but there was a very valid point that was made, was that the competition on streaming right now, and as it goes forward, is going to be so thick. And because Netflix kind of had its bread and butter on licensing for shows like Friends or The Office and things like that, and now that like NBC is doing their own streaming service and pulling all that stuff back on the licensing and saying, we're not renewing it with you, we're going to do our own. They say Netflix is going to be basically like B movies and original content, and that the Disney Pluses and the HBO Maxes and the Peacocks and all this other stuff are going to dominate so badly, because when they were the main, show on the road, everybody was going to Netflix, and then Prime kind of jumped in and it was like, well, Prime's good, but people are still paying to see movies on Prime. So is Prime really the same as Netflix? Probably not. And then it was like these $5 services or $10 services now that are cheaper than Netflix that are starting to buy up content. Like I was telling you guys, Peacock is one of my favorite streaming services because they buy up freaking everything. I mean, they had King of Queens, and I think they have like a lot of CBS stuff. And they just go out and buy these rights to these shows and the catalog, and then they put it right on Peacock. And HBO Max is doing the same thing. I think HBO Max bought DC Comics, so a lot of their the Batman movies.
HBO Max is the future. I think they're going to.
I think Warner owns DC.
Well, no, well, I mean, yeah, but there's a deal there.
Warner owns HBO too.
Right. So the deal is that HBO now becomes like the DC hub, kind of like Disney Plus is the Marvel hub.
Yeah.
So all these movies, like they had Wonder Woman 84 on there for free.
Well, that's because Warner made it. Yeah.
But, well, I mean, still though.
That's why we're getting King Kong, The Matrix. It's going to come in on there.
Yeah, they're doing that
this year.
Justice League. Yeah.
But the Snyder Cut's coming up next month.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, they were just saying, now I may be wrong, but they were saying, look, Netflix is going to be kind of on the bottom of the totem pole with streaming services because everybody's doing their own thing now.
See, I feel like they're still the one to beat. I think there's like some really great ones out there now. It's really transformed, but it's going to be hard for someone like who is it? It's like CBS Access and AMC. You mentioned last time we were on.
Yeah.
I don't see how they can compete with people like Netflix who have already established themselves. And Netflix is about to pour a ton of money into horror. Apparently, that's what they feel like. That's the direction they need to take to compete. So they're about to make a ton of horror movies.
Well, it's gonna. A&E did exactly what. So here's something really interesting. So I'm watching TV the other day, a streaming service. I don't know who I was watching, and they had an ad for the original Real World on MTV. They're bringing all of the original Real World season 1 people back to the same apartment to live for like 4 weeks together at their age now. And so I'm like, man, I'm totally in. I'm a sucker for like nostalgia. I'm like, I'm totally going to watch that. So what I realized was that they have a Paramount. It's going to be on Paramount. Now Paramount will group with like 5 other channels. So like FX and all this other stuff, and they're going to come across with like 5 different channels all together on one streaming service called Paramount Plus. A&E did the same thing. They went out and got like 3 or 4 different channels, including Shudder, and they
that makes more sense.
Yep, and they did A&E, like A&E something, and now their streaming service is like $5, but it includes Shudder and like 5 other channels. So that's going to be the thing that's going to happen with streaming, is that these channels are going to start coming together, like 5, 6, 7 channels at a time, and saying, let's start our own and let's make a conglomerate, one streaming channel for all of our stuff. It's going to be a really hard place. It's going to be great for entertainment. It's going to be great for TV, I think, because I think network TV is terrible. It's going to be great for like, getting rid of cable, but it's going to suck in a lot of ways too for like Netflix and maybe even Prime too, because Prime doesn't really put out any good original content. Prime, to me, the only advantage of it is really the free shipping. The free shipping is really the only advantage to Prime anymore.
I had it for the free shipping, then all of a sudden the video service came out, and I was like, "Well, that's a bonus." And
but they still make you pay for at least 70% of what's out on their service. Like, to me, Prime, for the $100 a year I pay, I kind of feel like, and if they wanted to, they up the rate, I think, a little bit. I think a lot of that shit should be free. A lot of the movies.
Yeah, it was $90.
I still have to pay $3.99. I still got to pay $3.99 to rent a new movie that's come out that they have. You know what I mean? Where HBO Max, like I said, if they have Wonder Woman 84, which was god awful. Did y'all see that?
No.
Yeah, well, that whole opening scene in the mall was just it I almost turned it off, but I finished it anyway.
It's terrible. Like, all of those DC movies are so
Have you ever turned a movie off?
No, I watched. No matter.
Wait a minute. Wick just made the best point ever. Scott, one of my favorite things about Scott is the fact that Wolf Cop is a movie that he watched all the way through and thought it was pretty good. So good that he watched Wolf Cop 2, which is a movie about a cop who changes into a werewolf.
Alcoholic cop.
And does alcoholic cop. He does cocaine or methamphetamines. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's cocaine. It's that's part 2 though. That's the new thing that they added to the story.
Yeah, he gets ramped up by using cocaine. So Scott, he's a Wolf Cop fan, but turned off Wonder Woman 84.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, actually, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you said you did.
No, I said I wanted to.
Well, that still says a lot.
That whole mall scene
turn off Wolf
made
Cop.
no sense whatsoever.
But did Wolf Cop make sense?
No, but I mean, I knew that going in. It was what I expected.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 84 was freaking terrible. I don't know what it is with the DC movies; they're just not good.
Who did I think was good? Oh, I thought Kristen Wiig surprisingly was really good in that movie. She was one of the saving graces.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different role for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know, man. I think Netflix is going to have trouble going forward, especially with HBO Max, and HBO Max is just killing it, man.
HBO Max is
what's that?
Their library is astounding.
I would love to know what they're really truly worth. What HBO itself is worth. It's got to be worth a ton.
Oh, HBO, I don't know. It's all part of the conglomerate.
Yeah. Right? I mean, they're private, right?
They're just attached to a lot of entertainment, other entertainment industries. The big one being Warner.
It's hard for me not to think that they're worth a ton of cash. I can't find it online. I looked, unless I looked in the wrong places. I couldn't find out how much they were worth, but I almost wonder if they're worth as much as, say, some of the larger, entertainment, if not maybe wealthier than most of the entertainment groups that are put together right now, like NBC and all those guys.
Well, yeah, Disney's probably on top of everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
Disney owning Fox now, and who else did they buy before Fox?
They have a operating income of roughly $2 billion a year.
That's a lot of money, man, and probably very little overhead, right? I mean, what's HBO paying for?
Content.
Yeah, I mean the rights, right? But I mean, outside of that, I mean, you probably have a very low employee base.
It feels like they've bought some rights. I know they bought South Park $500 million. They own the rights to most of the stuff that's already on their channel. They may have enough content to fill it up.
When did you guys first, like, what was your first like real movie on HBO?
Attica.
Oh, really?
I think it was their first movie. Or one of
I
their
saw.
first.
We had Showtime first when I was a little kid.
I remember.
So I don't know.
You're talking about HBO movie or?
Well, my grandparents had cable, and that's the only reason we would even go down there once every 7 years to check out the cable, and because they really didn't want us any other time. But we went down there, and I'm kidding, of course, but we went down there, and I remember the old HBO like intro, and the O spinning around and all the colors and everything. I was like,
so good.
This is big time, man. Like, I can't believe I'm watching cable. This is amazing. and it basically was either I can tell you which one it was. It was Girls Just Want to Have Fun with Sarah Jessica Parker. I still love that movie because of it. And when it comes on, my wife's like, "That is so lame." I'm like, "No, I mean, I remember this being on HBO. It was a big deal. You know what I mean? Sarah Jessica Parker, man." Who was cute then, and then I don't know what happened when she met Matthew Broderick, but
are they together now?
They've been together for a while. I think they both just like got ugly when they met each other. Does that happen?
Matthew looks the same. He's just
I never thought he was hot.
You never thought Matthew Broderick was hot? Really? Dude, you're talking about Ferris Bueller there. The man from War Games. Come on.
Sloane was hot.
Yeah. To me, he's known for War Games.
Yeah, War Games. Yeah,
War Games. Yep.
But and I remember
agree, War Games.
And then I think a couple of years later we went down there, and it was the Weekend at Bernie's. Because remember, they used to play. It was like they used to play the hell out of movies. Like, one movie was their movie of the month, and you could not escape it. And back then you didn't have
all the time.
Yeah, back then you didn't have like we have now, thank God, because it was like it's Weekend at Bernie's month, and it was like Weekend at Bernie's turned into like a whole year of Weekend at Bernie's on HBO. It was like, this is unbelievable. It was like, yeah, man, Weekend at Bernie's. Go down and see the grandparents. They have cable. I'm excited. What movie is going to be on? Weekend at Bernie's. Fantastic. Never saw it. The entire week was Weekend at Bernie's. I was like, okay, is there nothing else in the can here? We got nothing else there's nothing else in the quiver we can grab and try to shoot out there.
Would be ironic.
Weekend at Bernie's again.
It would be ironic if it were Groundhog Day.
I hate that movie. I love
that movie. That movie should have won awards.
Ned Ryerson.
I hate Groundhog Day. I saw it once and I was like, I'll never watch that again.
Really? God, I think it was like I'd seen it a few times when I decided, his performance, where he starts out at, where he is in the middle, and then where he ends up, has a wide range of emotion and that he went through. I mean, as far as like, if you're going to judge what an actor puts out there, that he did a great job in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was the whole content of The Same Day over and over again. I just was like, I can't do that. I need something more. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a simple man. We've already discussed that.
You can't have the same day repeating over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, I just like, by the time we got to the third time, I was like, by the time that alarm clock went out the third time, I was like, I'm out. Like,
that's awesome. Though. He learned to play piano. And just like within and to everybody else within a day, he was a master pianist.
Pianist. And but yeah, we finally got HBO and all that in our own house. No, we didn't. I don't think I even got HBO until like, God, I might have gotten it when I got out on my own, honestly, to be honest with you. But it's just amazing what HBO has done at this point, but yeah. So that was,
they were smart with the original content.
I'd love to know how much Weekend at Bernie's made them. I mean, maybe that got them to where they are today, They're just repeating Weekend at Bernie's over and over again.
I can't remember what I used to watch on there that I got so excited about. They didn't really have a lot of original content back then. It was mostly just movies a month or so after they came out, right before they went to video.
Yeah, it was right in that little window.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite original content HBO show? Because they've had some big ones.
Oh, for me, True Detective season 1.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah,
I liked. Was Game of Thrones Showtime or HBO?
No, it's HBO, right?
It was HBO. Yeah.
Oh, well, then just regardless of the ending, I loved Game of Thrones was my favorite.
I caught up on Game of Thrones. Like everybody had talked about it, and I don't like a lot of medieval magic dragon stuff.
I don't either, but that's
that show captivated me. I couldn't wait for the next one.
Yeah, I mean, once I watched it, I was like, "This is really good."
I even tried to go back and watch it again, and had to force myself to get into it twice.
I didn't even know. I spent 70% of watching Game of Thrones confused at who everybody was.
Yeah.
Like they would be talking about somebody or their family, and I'm like, now where do they live? Is that the one that lives on the Rocky Shores? I don't know
who this person Google is. Or you just have to quit caring.
I definitely had to Google it. But I got into it because I find that if I give something time to be out there and then I can binge it, I pay much better attention to it, because then I'm like, I'm in the story. I'm not having to wait a week for what's going to happen next. I can zoom through it. And that way I kind of keep the storyline like always solid. I always know what's going on. Well, not really, but I know the basics. And then I had to wait. I remember I binged it until like the last like 3 episodes. And I was like, well, here we go, man. This is going to be awesome. And I watched the last 3 episodes. Like, this is dog shit. This is terrible. What happened? It was terrible. I was like, I told my wife, I said, I feel bad for people who watch this episodically. Every Sunday when it came out, they were there. They were watching it for all these years to get to here. At least I got through it in a couple of weeks. I only wasted a couple of weeks of my time. These, the people that were dedicated to the weekly episodes, by the time I got to the end, I mean, I can't imagine you climb that mountain and there's nothing up there. There's a McDonald's. You climb the Mount Everest and find out there's a Quickie Mart up there. It's like, wow, I could have saw that down there. It was bad. And I don't know. I mean, did you watch it, Wick? Were you a Game of Thrones guy?
The whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, what'd you think of the ending of it?
Oh my God. Well, they got signed by Star Wars. So I think they just lost focus at the worst possible time.
Wasn't the guy who was like writing the books? Wasn't he going to finish it? And then he was just like, whatever. Somebody else can do it.
He still hasn't finished it.
And HBO had to like hire people to come in and be like, we got to finish this.
I don't know what's
like
going on.
3 episodes.
He still hasn't finished it. And I mean, it's his life's work at this point. I don't know what the issue is, but I think he's got rich and lazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like I just was like, this is it really felt like somebody completely different took that show over, like for the last like 3 episodes. It was like they sent me the script, they sent it to me and was like, hey, we're in deep shit.
Yep.
Can you write the last 3 episodes? And me be like, yeah, man, I binged this thing. I got it. I don't know who this Conan Doyle guy is, but I got this.
Tyrion should have wound up on the throne.
I mean, yeah.
I don't understand why they went that direction.
It's weird, especially for all that time and money dedicated. It was just really weird. I don't know. I think HBO dropped ball there.
I mean, the worst character on the most boring character in the entire show winds up on the throne.
Yeah. I don't know. When I think about HBO and all the original content, I watched The Sopranos last year. I started The Sopranos.
That show was great. I watched it way after it ended, too.
I thought it was overrated.
I loved it. What did you not like about it? What did you not like?
I don't know. Like, I liked Tony Soprano.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like it wasn't as mafia to me as I expected.
Well, I guess they were trying to mix his family life with with the mafia. It got a little silly in some points, but I liked it a lot.
Oh, there was a lot of the dream sequences stuff and all that, and I hated it. There would be a whole episode of that, and I'm like, this is terrible.
What was he? He was in therapy, right?
I did think he was going to eventually
cover that half. Huh?
I did think he was going to eventually sleep with her, and I was surprised that he never really did.
He tried.
Yeah, she wasn't going for that. She don't want no scrubs, man.
6 Feet Under was good too.
I never saw that.
Oh yeah. I just actually there was like a vote, like best show ever, and I went through all of them. There's a big list of them. I think Breaking Bad was winning by a ton, and I was like, yeah, I love the show, but I went down and read them all, and I picked 6 Feet Under. It was on the list.
You picked it as the greatest show ever?
The best show that I had ever seen.
Really? Sopranos?
No,
6 Feet Under.
Oh, 6 Feet Under. I'm sorry.
Best ending ever.
I never watched it. Is that the one where they own the funeral home?
Finale.
Yeah.
I just loved every episode. I couldn't wait to watch the next one. And it's the only show where it did have an arc story, but it was also each show was standalone as well. So I guess it was standalone. It was an arc story that was driven by a standalone story that was usually secondary, but it was good.
I like Deadwood. I would probably put Deadwood as my favorite HBO original show.
Oh yeah, okay.
Deadwood was good.
Forgot about Deadwood. Did you watch the movie that came out not too long ago?
No, but I need to.
Okay.
I know
not as good, but it's as the show was, but it's good.
People always talk about The Wire, and I tried it and I hated it.
I went through 4 seasons, and I thought it was just very overhyped by people. Yeah. It's almost like people just told me it was this brilliant, great show, and I had to agree with them, because I don't want to seem like the You know
what's funny?
I'm just not smart enough to get it, but I know I am.
You know what's funny about
it?
That?
It wasn't that great. It wasn't bad.
No.
The only place, Wick, did you like The Wire? Was The Wire a big show for you?
Nope.
Did you try it?
I tried it. I was expecting a thunderbolt, and I didn't.
That's what's so weird about it. Everybody I have ever talked to in my life, like actual person, where I'm like, I've always heard The Wire is good. Everybody says no, it's not that good. Online on the internet, it's the only place I ever see the Wire being listed as like the greatest show ever. And I'm like, I never run into anybody who ever really liked it. Not like an actual person. And I find that to be extremely strange.
I think
I see a lot of that with a lot of different subjects online.
What were you going to say, Wick?
Scott turned me onto a show that was great that nobody saw called Rectify.
Oh, yeah.
That was filmed in Griffin. Great show.
Rectify. That sounds familiar. Is that the one where the guy gets out of prison?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's 17 years. He's in prison on death row.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets the charges dropped. He gets out.
So I got a great idea here. We didn't come in here with a plan. And I think it's time to discuss what we feel like the greatest binge shows ever are. Okay. So that any platform, your favorite shows that you sat down and binged and just watched. What is that? Is that your hot dog?
Yeah, I'm gonna share
one. What kind of hot dog are you eating?
Oh, it's from I forgot. I remember Mark hot dogs. It's from some places called M. I don't know. It's a big one, big hot dog.
Nice, nice.
So you got it through the drive-through, or you bought it in the store?
It was in the fridge, so I took
it. Anyway, so I found this list of the rankers, ranker site, top binge, shows of all time, and we go through these and kind of agree or disagree. But I don't like this right here. Is the number one, and you guys can pull it up. It's just basically ranker top binge shows of all times. It's called the best TV shows to binge watch. They have Stranger Things at number 1, and I think that is vastly overrated.
Oh, really? Yeah, I would agree with that. I very much enjoyed watching it. But
I like it for the nostalgia, but I think the story is garbage.
that's why. Yeah.
The story's garbage. I mean, I still don't understand what's hunting these kids down.
I don't think
you know what I mean? Like, it's like some big spider in the sky. I don't know if they're going into another dimension that they see things. Like the story itself. I don't know.
This was number 1?
That was Stranger Things is number 1.
No.
The spider was season 2, I think, right? And then it was just some crazy looking creature, and that was in season 3. But at the end of season 3, he gets sucked. The cop gets sucked into, I don't know, I get sucked into the time warp or something, and he's in some prison in Germany, in Nazi Germany.
What?
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
Yeah, and that's where.
Did I finish Stranger Things season?
It may have been like a post-credit scene because it starts like.
Might have been, yeah.
Like going down the hallway and stuff like that, and they're talking. There's like translation underneath it, and the prison guards are talking about the guy in the cell over here, and it goes by his cell, and it shows him sitting in there.
Does Stranger Things even reach your top 10?
No.
Scott, does it reach your top 10?
I'll definitely start right away when it comes on. Right now, probably as what's currently being aired.
Well, it's ever. We're talking about ever.
No, it doesn't reach top 10 forever.
All right, so Game of Thrones comes in second. Is Game of Thrones a top 5?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Regardless of the ending, I would still.
There's too many great moments in that.
And number 3, they have Breaking Bad. Now, I think Breaking Bad is deserving of a top 3 spot.
Easily.
It is. And I do think Better Call Saul is better, but it's solely because of Breaking Bad.
Well, I mean, it's Bryan
definitely
Cranston.
Put that in a position to be a better show.
It's Bryan Cranston. I think that guy is so freaking amazing. Not only for like just, I feel like who he is as a person, the fact that he takes nothing too serious, but the fact that I thought he was hilarious in Malcolm in the Middle as the dad. Like he was really freaking legitimately hilarious. To going to this role where he was quite just unstable. I thought Breaking Bad was phenomenal. I mean, as far as for network television. You know,
yeah, it's great.
And I don't think anybody who has ever sat down and really watched Breaking Bad ever said, "Oh, I don't like it."
You know who they wanted and who turned it down?
Who's that?
Matthew Broderick.
Really? Speaking of.
Yep.
Wow. I can see that working.
Yeah.
Cranston.
I don't think he's as good as Cranston, but
not in hindsight.
Is Cranston underrated, or do you think he gets the respect he deserves?
He gets it now.
Yeah. After that. Yeah. Great. This is kind of funny. The Office comes in 4. Now let me.
Maybe I've seen it so many times it got old.
Never.
I love the show.
I'll tell you this: I can binge The Office every year, and every year I do binge The Office. I'll be looking for something to watch. Like I got the 2 kids; they're noisy, they're all over the place, they're on their tablets and all this other stuff, and asking for milk or somebody to wipe their butt or something. And it's like I just need something that is I don't have to pay attention to, but when I do, it's great. And I'm like, it's always The Office. Always go to The Office. And what I love about The Office, so my wife and I have this debate. Which one's better, The Office or Friends? And to
Office.
me, I think Friends gets the respect it deserves because it is really funny. I don't know if you guys are Friends fans. Are you a Friends fan, Wick?
It's funny, but I don't think it's great.
I liked Ross.
Yeah,
Ross. Thank you. I told my wife is a Friends fanatic, and I told her. Now I didn't watch Friends, Scott, when we were hanging out. Nobody was married. We were just having fun. I never watched Friends.
Friends was over when I started watching it.
Yeah, I mean, in the 90s, I knew nothing. I knew Friends existed. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it until me and my wife got together, 2000, like maybe 10-ish, 2011. Did I really sit down and kind of binge it? She was like, really, it's good. You're really going to think it's funny. And I did. To her credit, I absolutely did. But I told her, after years of being in a friend's world of a relationship or with a friend fanatic, I looked at her and I was like, you know what? Ross is the best of the friends. And she was like, no. And I was like, I swear to God, all the best episodes are with Ross. All the best episodes are Ross.
Mm-hmm. They are.
You know, when he's hitting on the girl, the pizza girl, and he tells her, and he's trying to hit on her, and he's talking about how much she said, she was telling Chandler that Chandler's like, oh, you got a haircut. It looks really good, you know, and it was a really short haircut. And she was like, oh, thanks. It makes me feel like an 8-year-old boy. I feel like an 8-year-old boy with his haircut. And then Ross is trying to learn how to flirt. And so he says, I just so happen to like 8-year-old boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I remember that.
Ross makes friends. You can, if you're a Friends fan and you don't get it, I'm sorry, but Ross is the funniest friend on Friends. And nobody ever says that. They always say it's Chandler or Joey. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, it is Ross. Ross makes friends. He does. If you go back and watch any of those, the funniest episodes are with Ross. But anyway, we have this debate about The Office, and I'm like, The Office is the funniest comedy to me for one main reason. There's no
Of all time.
No laugh track. Every time I watch it, something different makes me laugh because there's no laugh track. There's nothing that tells me this is what's funny. So laugh. If you take the laugh tracks out of Friends, if you take the laugh tracks out of, which I hate, Big Bang Theory. I think it's terrible.
It started off funny, and then it was like I guess they started paying the actors more, so they paid the writers less.
Yeah.
And then you got the typical sitcom jokes. It started off really smart.
But there was something on YouTube where they actually removed the laugh tracks from Friends and Big Bang Theory and everything, and it's terrible. And you're like, it does not feel the same. But I think that's what the brilliance of The Office is that there's no laugh track. So when you watch,
The Office owes that to Arrested Development.
Sure. And Arrested Development is probably number 2 for me. And if somebody said it has to be number 1, I'm not going to fight. I think Arrested Development's brilliant. But I love the fact that whenever I watch a show that's a comedy, especially The Office, what I find funny in that show is legitimately what I find funny. There's no laugh track that kind of cues me in, oh, well, that was a joke. I genuinely laugh at what I think is really funny on The Office. And I think that's why I love it so much, is that every time I watch it, every year when I binge it, my wife will testify, every year when I binge The Office, I laugh at something new. It's never the same thing twice.
Did you?
It's a mannerism. It's how somebody says something a certain way that I didn't catch before. I always find something different that I think is funny because there's no laugh track telling me that, oh, you got to laugh here. It's legitimately what I think is funny. And
did you still watch it after Steve Carell left?
Yeah, but I liked Nard Dog. I liked the Nard Dog. There was a period of time though with Rob California. I don't know if you guys watched all of that. Did you watch all the seasons, Wick?
No, I haven't seen them all.
Okay. Well, a lot of people, I think that's probably I think if The Office ends when Michael Scott leaves, it's probably...
You can't do that show without him.
It's probably even higher than what people think it is now, which is pretty high. Because I think people forgive those last couple of seasons.
Do you have a favorite episode?
The accident where he burns his foot on the Foreman grill because he likes to smell bacon in the morning. Yeah.
What about the dinner part?
I'm sorry. I like the smell of bacon in the morning. Every morning I set up my George Foreman grill. When my alarm goes off and I wake up to the smell of bacon. Sue me. Well, this morning I got up and I forgot that it was on and I stepped on the grill. And he had these grill marks across. Classic. I mean,
there's a later episode where he's grilling with it outside, and they're like, "Is that the same one you grilled your foot on?" He goes, "I got it all off."
Oh my God, The Office is amazing, and I try to tell people who've never seen it, please, you're missing out. Like, don't let your life go by without seeing some of The Office, please. But
what about the dinner party episode?
Dinner party's great.
where he tricks Jim into coming over, like telling him they have to work late. And then he gets on the phone. He goes, "This is Michael Scott, Scranton. We don't want to work. No, we don't. It's not fair to these people. These people are my friends, and I care about them."
and then he goes to Jim, and he's like, "So I guess you got no plans now for dinner?" Because he's been asking Jim and Pam to come over to eat dinner with him and his girlfriend forever. They kept dodging him. It's brilliant. That show's brilliant, man. And
then he shows him his small TV.
Yeah.
He goes, "Sometimes TV. I just stand here and watch television for hours. I love this TV."
It's such a great show. But like I told my wife, I said, I think the brilliance of Friends and why Friends is still so big to people is that, to all its credit, and Wick, I think you'll agree with this 100%, it went out on top. And when they were like, "We're done," nobody milked any more out of it. They ended that show when everybody was on the top. And I think so many shows like The Office keep going when they're past their expiration date at the time, and they introduce new characters, or somebody has, like, the family has a baby out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they're starting all over again. But with Friends, it was kind of like this. They were at their peak, and they were like, "We're not going to go into the 30s," because this is a time of them being in their 30s. I mean, I remember they had an episode where a couple of the characters were upset that they were turning 30, and they were like, "We can't go too deep into them being 30 years old, because then they're getting married, then they're having their own kids, and it takes away from their core of who they are. And we also can't go too deep into them being 30 years old, because then they're getting married, then they're having their own kids, and it takes away from their core of who they are. And we also can't keep going with them being single and not married and all this other stuff and having that dynamic, because eventually it's going to wear thin." So they literally at the later episodes started marrying people off and got prepared for ending it. And it ended it on top. And I think one of the things that I will always give Friends a lot of credit for is ending when the ending was probably too good to really pull off. Like, there's too much money involved here. And they walked off on top. I mean, wouldn't you say, Wick?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they were huge.
I mean, it's hard for a show to do that, isn't it?
Seinfeld did too. They offered Jerry, I forget how many, like $50 million for a 10th season. And to his credit, he's like, "No, we're done."
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why Friends is still a big thing today, and why people can't let it go, is because it's so rare a show really does. And Seinfeld too, for people. It's just so rare that a show ends when it's at its best. And it's usually the time where nobody wants to walk away, or everybody's fighting about more money, or people are willing to leave and other people don't want to leave their cash cow.
Which brings us to the reboot of Frasier.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I don't know. I'm excited, but I mean, can
Frasier?
Can you recapture it?
I don't think so. And that's what they say about rebooting Friends. To the credit of all those actors,
they did with Roseanne.
It won't be the same. It will not be the same. And people that are expecting Friends from the 90s, they're not going to get that. And we don't want to do that.
Well, they're not going to be able to get Jennifer
They
Aniston.
killed it with Roseanne. Roseanne came back out. It was hilarious. It ended because of her tweets.
Right. I thought it was funny.
But isn't it still going without her?
Yeah. Nobody's watching.
The Connors.
I don't know how. I really think that show's on. They changed it to the name. Okay. Roseanne's one of the greatest comedies of all time, in my opinion. But I think she's brilliant. Despite all of everything, I think she's a brilliant comedic writer. She wrote Roseanne.
You could choke her, but it was a good show.
And she had Norm.
Yeah, right. But she legitimately, John Goodman's great in that role. And I think that she wrote that show brilliantly. I mean, it really kind of taps into how brilliant she is comedically. Despite all that,
How long did
Darlene was funny too.
How long did Norm write for Roseanne?
Norm who?
McDonald.
Oh, he wrote for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, there you go. That's the reason why.
I don't know. You'll have to look that up. I don't know, but I think when she did what she did, she got in the trouble she got into. I'm not going to debate all that, but I'm going to say this. I think that when they fired her, they should have done a whole different show, which they ended up doing. But I think that was her brainchild, and I get that the studio probably owns all that, but I think it was hers. And I think to keep going with it, and calling it the Connors and all that, I just think it was a little bit of a slap in the face. I think I get it, but when you're talking about somebody's creative and intellectual property, and then just to say, hey, we're going to just continue on without you when you were the main person in that show, the show was named after you. I think it was a little low brow. I think CBS or whoever's doing it. I thought it was a little low.
Norm wrote for season 5 and half of season 6, and came back on as a consulting producer for the reboot.
Yeah. I just think it was. I don't know where it lists on here, but number 5 was Sherlock. Did you guys ever watch Sherlock with
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Cumberbund?
I watched a couple episodes. They were really good. Each episode was like a movie. It was about an hour and a half long.
Dude. Yeah.
And I think they either just decided to do another season or they just finished it. I didn't really follow up on it.
Yeah, it's that weird BBC programming where they do like 3 episodes and then
take a break.
They're all like an hour and
4 years off.
Mm-hmm. I thought I saw some of it. I thought it was really well written. I had a problem sitting through an hour and a half of a TV show, though. I was just like, man, certainly we can do this in a 45-minute angle.
Greatest sitcom ever. Go.
Sitcom ever? I'd need some time on that one. I'm going to think about it. And we may find it in here. Friends was number 6. We already discussed all that stuff.
I have to open up my childhood now and think back to what sitcoms then I loved, if they held up.
So of these, okay, Stranger Things, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, The Office,
Coach.
Hold on, Sherlock. Hold on, Sherlock. Who are you moving out of this top 5? Sherlock, The Office, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Stranger Things.
Sherlock doesn't.
Well, Sherlock, I just don't really have a lot of screen time with it, so I don't know.
I think we can.
I'd have to move it.
Okay.
And I did give it a shot, and it was a lot like what you said. It had a hard time holding my attention.
That's what it was for me.
But it's not that it wasn't well done, and it wasn't good.
Stranger Things. Yeah.
I agree. So you want to bump Stranger Things out of the top 5. Scott wants to bump Sherlock, and I'll take either one of those, really, honestly. I'm just looking here. Yeah, Sherlock. Stranger Things, to me, Sherlock might be good. I think Stranger Things is just the newest thing. And I would you move Friends into a top 5?
Please move Friends to a top 5.
Would you move Friends to a top 5, Scott?
I would not. No.
No?
I like it, but I enjoyed the show, but it's not a top 5.
Okay. The next couple.
It's not a top 10, I don't think.
Friends not a top 10?
No.
Oh.
No, but I don't know. It's like
there's several.
I've never really thought about ranking shows. So when I'm trying to do that right now.
Yeah.
And there's so many good shows back in the day.
Let's see, because we'll get some.
All in the Family. That was a great show.
We'll get some reminders. House comes in at number 7.
No.
I would not put that in the top 10.
No.
I watched House.
I hated House.
I felt like every time I watched House, it was some kind of unique bug bite or virus from Africa.
Yeah.
And then it's like we spent an hour trying to figure out how this guy's having like epileptic seizures and all this other stuff whenever he sees the color red. and we're going around and around, and all of a sudden, like, well, he did go to Africa back in December. It's like, well, there's a bug that, and it's like, okay, like after a couple episodes of that, I was like, no thanks. It was kind of like my wife watched, what was the movie or the TV show with Julian something where she was The Good Wife. And I was like, okay, that's a pretty good show. She was watching it until I realized, like, the main girl in The Good Wife was always the smartest person in the room, despite not having a legal degree. Like, here's 4 lawyers discussing a case, and she's in the back room, like, taking notes. Well, what about the box cutter that we found on the table? And they're like, oh my God, that's it. What? You know what I mean? And it was every episode she was the smartest person in the room, and I was like, I'm out. Like, these are brilliant lawyers that can't figure this out. And here's this one person taking notes like, well, what about James Cumberbund? He was there in the bathroom, remember? I think we saw it on the tape. You're right. You're right. Cumberbund. Like, good Lord. Fredward Dickerson was in the room, remember, in the back? Do you guys remember seeing that on a videotape? Are you serious? Yeah. Let's go back and look. You're right. There he is. He probably did kill her. Turns out that they were divorced back in 1992. Oh, you know what I mean? And you're like, what? Like, the smartest person in the room is the person that doesn't have a legal degree. I was like, I'm done. Better Call Saul's number 8. You guys want to move that in top 5 or out of the top 10?
Well, I'll leave it there for now, but I mean, I like it better than Breaking Bad.
Okay. Do you like
it? I like it as much.
As much. I haven't finished it. I watched for.
Is there a new season yet?
I don't think so.
I haven't watched it in forever.
I love Bob Odenkirk.
So I'm curious if I missed a season or not.
I love him as that character. It's so perfect for him.
I did too. And I actually said to Wick, I think it was Wick. I said they should just do a show called Better Call Saul, and he said they are. I was like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine comes in at number 9. I cannot see this. You've got to be kidding me.
Who are these people?
Yeah, I was never entertained by the show. I feel like it's Andy Samberg on steroids.
He's not funny. Am I wrong?
He is funny. Like, if you've ever seen I forgot the name of his movie. Oh, it was Hot Rod. Hilarious movie. But it's just too much Andy Samberg to me.
He feels like a one-trick pony kind of comedian. Like when he was used on Saturday Night Live, like, I thought, like, his what's the God,
where he talks to animals?
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg.
Say hi to your mother for me. Like, but I think it's like that's what he's got. And that's pretty much, you know what I mean? Like, but I think Adam Sandler is overrated too. I know I'm going to get hate mail for that, but I think Adam Sandler is vastly overrated.
I love his movies.
There's always so much of that crap I can do before I'm like, I'm out.
He does different things. What was the one? There was one that just came out not too long ago on Netflix that was really good. The Do-Over. Was it good? Do-Over? It's called The Do-Over. Yeah, and it's a little bit like it had a different director, so it had a different feel of more of an action feel, which it was. It was him and David Spade. It was really good, I thought.
Wick, Adam Sandler overrated?
I wouldn't say he's overrated.
I mean, you can't argue with his success.
No, you can't. But
I don't think he's a genius.
He's definitely found a formula, and one thing that he does that movies got away from I guess he got into like always having a lesson in his movies, promoting the good guy more, and being a good person.
Yeah, he definitely.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's definitely.
You can only do so much of the and all that stuff. All right, so this is one I think Scott's gonna like. I know I like it too, and Wick's probably gonna make fun of us. Supernatural comes in at number 10.
Never even seen it.
Oh, I love that.
Love it.
I've seen it multiple times.
I don't care. I told you, Wick, I am in the 18 to 24 female demographic. Give me Supernatural any day of the week. I love that show. I know Scott does too.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt, man. It's got the Impala on the front, and it says "Carry on, my wayward son."
Yeah, Wick, I would be curious what you would think of Supernatural. To be honest with you, because you would probably make fun of us. I love this show. Comes in at number 10. I'm leaving it in the top 10. Scott.
Yeah, I absolutely have to put it in the top 10. I think what's great about it is you have the most toxic. I mean, I don't even believe this is a real word or a thing, but they use it a lot now. Toxic masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
As far as Dean's character,
yeah,
I mean, he's everything. He's completely un-PC. He's everything that everybody is offended from right now. This in character embodies, and I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's
a good
hilarious.
Show. It's a great story. That show was only supposed to be 5 seasons. Wick, if you ever get a chance, man, watch it. I mean, you may hate it. Okay, it's just a couple of good-looking dudes out slaying demons, but it's might be right up your alley. Okay, so number 11 comes in The Sopranos. Y'all want to move it in the top 10?
I think Sopranos has to be in the top 10 just because.
Right. Yeah, it was. It's a great show. I love it. I think it was probably the first great R-rated television series that I can think of.
So
that was on as original content on cable.
Number 12, Shameless. I've always heard that you can't really like a television show where you hate the main characters. Do you guys watch Shameless? And I've heard that you hate the main characters pretty much when you watch it.
You don't.
No, I liked the show. I liked most of the main characters. I really liked William H. Macy's character a lot. Even though he's a jerk and you're not supposed to like him, he's extremely intelligent. He's just got addiction problems.
Do you watch Shameless, Wick?
I watched the first 3 seasons, I think.
What'd you think?
I loved it.
Top 10?
It kind of started getting, I don't know if it's top 10 now.
Okay.
I'm totally current with it. I wouldn't put it top 10. Huh?
Wick's top 10 is going to be tough. He's a very critical critic of entertainment.
I mean, I think we've already discussed most of the ones I would put in the top 10.
How's that last season of Westworld?
I tapped out.
I did too.
Very early. And I
got 4 episodes in.
I was really gung-ho that was going to be the next great show.
Well, apparently there's rumor, or maybe it's just a theory, a fan theory, that it's tied to Battlestar Galactica, the reboot that came out. Because I believe the same people worked on it.
I love Battlestar Galactica.
So it's one of my favorite shows. There you go, top 10. But that it's somehow loosely a prequel to Battlestar.
It'd be interesting how they link those up if that's true.
Yeah, but they did do a prequel originally called Capricorn. I believe they only did 2 seasons and they canceled it, which is it would totally throw that off if they left that part of the story in.
Did you see Battlestar? Did you watch Battlestar Galactica?
No, and I wish I had.
I think
it's supposed to be a great show.
I think Peacock has it. Sci-Fi did have it.
Yeah, NBC owns Sci-Fi.
There you go. I would put it in my top 10 all day because number 13 is The 100. Do you guys watch The 100?
God, I watched so many episodes of it. My brother recommended it to me, and it just got old. It was just like, I don't know. I felt like I was just watching. It was an original idea, but at the end of the day, it was just a bunch of teenagers or 20-somethings having their social issues with each other, but they're stuck on this alien planet.
It's actually called Facebook. Wick, did you ever watch The 100?
No, I haven't seen The 100.
Okay, so here we go. Another one that I thought that I was underrated. That when I watched it and I got past the first 3 or 4 episodes, because I was advised to do that. Don't give up. Watch past. Started at like episode 6, season 1.
So that's what I did then.
No. I'm trying. The next show I'm going to say.
No, I'm saying I stopped too early.
Okay. On the show.
If you're telling me that it gets better after that.
Okay, I got you. Parks and Recreation.
I've seen it multiple times. I love that show.
It really is great.
Great show.
Great show. Top 10 worthy for me.
I think I asked the question one time on Facebook: Parks and Recreation or The Office.
Oh, The Office.
I got a real mixed review.
That's a good question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I think Parks and Recreation's great.
But all these shows, I mean, everything on this list is like from 2010.
I know. I'm trying to see if we can find something a little. Oh, okay.
All in the Family.
We're gonna get deeper here, Wick.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, we'll get into Band of Brothers.
I didn't finish it. I watched a couple episodes.
Although
I hear it's great.
It is good. Did you watch the Europe or the Pacific?
Band of Brothers is a 2001. Let's see, World War II drama miniseries. Yeah. Steven Spielberg.
The Tom Hanks, right?
Yeah.
Produced it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Moving on. Sons of Anarchy. Do you? I guess we're not going to move Band of Brothers into any top 10, are we? Did seem any enthusiasm there.
It's close.
Really?
Yeah.
Sons of Anarchy.
I loved it. Never watched it.
I liked it up till I liked season 1 and season 2. When they went to Ireland, I think that was when it started going downhill for me. I finished it because I was already invested into the characters, but it never got back to that same level as it was after season 2.
It is amazing how many of these shows are recent, like in the last 20 years. So Prison
Television. Television may stepped up definitely in the last 20 years.
I mean,
Prison Break comes in at 17. Does that itch anybody? Does that itch anybody's scratch?
Season 1 was great.
That's what I hear. I hear it gets pretty bad after that.
Yeah.
Why isn't we're at 17 and Homeland hasn't been mentioned?
I know. How I Met Your Mother. I do not think How I Met Your Mother's funny.
I don't either.
Wick, you ever watch it? Moving on.
Homeland goes to top 10.
My God, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air comes
five
in
for me. Top
Fresh
5
Prince
for me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wick.
Top 5, easy
for Homeland.
Homeland, yeah.
Okay. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is in here at the top 20.
And that was a great show.
Peaky Blinders. Some of these I'll go a little.
See, Peaky Blinders, I've never got past the first 10 minutes.
I'm the same way. I have a friend that dogs me
watch it. I felt like they just kept saying Peaky Blinders, and that's the only thing I understood that they said because it was such a thick accent. And they're like, "Oh, did you get Peaky Blinders? Hey, social Peaky Blinders." I'm like, "Okay, the show's called Peaky Blinders."
Big Bang Theory, not there for me. Here's one I think does deserve a top 5, and it's 22. And I want to see if you guys agree. Dexter.
I'd leave it right there at 22.
Wick says no.
I didn't care for Dexter.
Not even in a top 10, huh? God,
they're about to fire it back up again, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
It's just implausible to me. I don't know.
Serial killing's implausible?
No, the serial killer that only kills serial killers. It's just.
But he's a serial killer that only kills serial killers, and he's also the guy that handles all the DNA evidence, so he can always hide things. I think that's brilliant.
I mean, it's good. I liked it. I didn't hate the show. I thought the best season was the one with the Trinity killer, John Lithgow.
John Lithgow, and that. Did you see that episode, Wick?
No, that season. It's a whole season.
Oh, that's right, the season. Yeah,
and you have to build up to it because a lot of big things happen to characters that you're attached to.
Season, yes.
So
it's a great season. So it doesn't even get into your top 10, Wick. Top 20.
It's too much of a. I don't know. It's.
I told you he's going to be tough, man. Wick is a tough nut to crack, man.
It's too much of a big idea for me.
Westworld's at 23. American Horror Story at 24.
First season of Westworld is great.
Yeah, well, I liked the first 2 seasons.
The second
American Horror Story, does it do anything?
Second season, I felt like I had to decipher a lot more. I had to think about it.
Scott, American Horror Story, do anything for you?
I've watched every season, and I thought the first season so far still is the best one.
Which one was that?
It was the Killer House, I believe is what it's called. It's basically they move into the haunted house. It's a family. It's, there's a
Is the
ghost.
house
There's basically
deadly?
several different ghosts that are in the house and things that happen that they see. But there's a bigger story that's going on. There's a big unveil at the end, which none of the other shows have that. None of the other seasons, I'm sorry, have the big unveil at the end, the surprise ending.
I don't think I've ever finished a season of American Horror Story.
I like the one in New Orleans.
Cult was cool.
The voodoo one.
Yeah.
No, that was the witch. The witches.
Oh, the Witch Academy or whatever.
It was called the Coven.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. The Coven.
Or Coven.
Blacklist. Any interest?
It's a good show, but I didn't finish it. I lost my interest.
James Spader.
He's great, but I tried to watch it again recently, and it was just so networky.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Modern Family.
It's standalone episodes, mostly.
Modern
Family, and then The Wire comes in at 27.
Modern Family got old, but I watched like 4 seasons of it.
It was good until the kids demanded more money, and then it got really stupid. They gave them all these speaking parts, and it was like the kids were never the funny part of that show.
No.
It was always Phil, and I always find that shows that I really like have multiple funny characters. Like I think Cam and Mitchell are really funny. I think Cam's hilarious, and then Phil is great, and Jay has moments.
Is Cam the guy that's not gay, pretending to be gay, or
no? He no, I don't know. Oh yeah, you mean real life? Yes.
Yeah,
he's the bigger one in the relationship.
Yeah, he's not gay in real life.
He's hilarious.
Okay, no, he's funny.
Great
dad that's in the family that's married to the daughter.
Yeah,
that whole family's funny. At least the mom and dad.
Yeah, I mean, there's when you have multiple really funny people in a show, to me, that's when it's at its best. When it's just one person, I don't find it as funny. I like having different people that will make me laugh depending on how I feel. But yeah, definitely Modern Family. Is it the top 10?
No. Have I completed my top 10 yet?
Probably not. Not from this.
I have no idea where I'm at.
The Simpsons. We can go through some of these quicker. The Simpsons was on the list.
South Park.
Simpsons versus South Park. Which one's funnier?
South Park.
In its prime, Simpsons, but that was only like 4 seasons.
Where would you guys put Ozark?
Ozark's way up there for me.
Yeah.
Maybe top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, we're getting it with Wick now. We're actually about to go on a date. Nice.
We are going to Applebee's.
We are gonna go.
I am having potato skins.
All right. They have their version of the blooming onion, which is so pitiful. It's just like a couple of sliced onions that are deep fried. That's it. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that we found one that he enjoys. But
I like Ozark a lot.
True Detective reach a top 10?
Does it? Oh my God.
That means yes.
Yeah. Firefly. I always
number one.
Number one. Okay, that's Wick's number one.
Season one. Season one.
Okay.
True Detective season 1 is my favorite show of all time.
I always hear Firefly's amazing. Did you guys ever watch Firefly? It's like
I liked it.
Was it good?
Yeah, I liked it. They aired it when they aired it all out of order. And canceled it before it was already canceled before it aired.
That's stupid.
But it probably has a lot to do with China. I think China was a big part of the show. I think all entertainment is pretty much influenced through
everything,
whether it can sell in China, and it didn't give China a great name.
China's ruined everything. The Twilight Zone, top 10.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, when you start like bringing in the old shows,
yeah.
I mean, Twilight Zone, I don't think we'd get anything that we like now without the Twilight Zone. You don't get X-Files. You don't get
X-Files, top 10?
A multitude of other stuff.
We're going to have to say top 15. X-Files is top 15?
I went back and watched the...
I never watched it really, except
the first
for when,
episode. And
I watched it with Carl, I think.
Yeah, I had to go back and watch it.
God, I remember sitting there with Dawn in our apartment, and we were just flipping through the channels like Dawn liked to do, and we thought we were watching Cops. And the guy, it's the very opening, And the guy, like, he runs back and he goes, "We got a call here," and it's shot just like Cops. And he goes, "I hear something here in the back," and he's like, "Police," and he hears some crazy noise, and then all of a sudden he goes off into the dark, and he comes back. He's running. He goes right by the camera. He goes, "Get out of here now! Go run!" And then the camera's like going crazy, following him. They get in the car, and he starts driving off, and he's trying to talk into the radio. Then the car just suddenly comes off the ground. And then it lands back down, and it flips, and it's upside down, and they got everybody's screaming. And you can imagine what state Don and I were in while we were watching this. And we're flipping out. We're both like our jaws are dropped. Then all of a sudden it goes. It was the X-Files. And they shot the whole episode cop style. But me and Don thought we were watching Cops. Yeah. And you know what me and Don did a lot of back then at the apartment?
Hold on.
Early 20s.
I just think it's hilarious that you guys watched an episode of X-Files where a car got lifted off the ground and slammed and all this other stuff. And there was a moment where you're like, "Oh my God, this is really happened."
Yeah, we did.
How have we not read about this already?
I know I've told this story.
That is hilarious, man. That's
so good.
That is so funny, man, to be watching X-Files thinking that it's Cops and that shit's real.
No, we both looked at each other and said, "Holy shit!" Whenever it went to X-Files.
Oh my God.
Turned out to be a very comedic episode.
Oh my God. Fargo, does it reach your top 15, Wick?
Yeah.
Ooh, top 10.
Maybe top 10.
Yeah, I agree.
This last season wasn't that good, but the previous three were great.
I think that Billy
especially the first season.
That first season's great. He's so good in that.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he? I mean,
oh God, he's great.
Let's see. Some of these are like cartoons. Now, this next list that I was looking at, just trying to get some ideas, they actually have Stranger Things at number 16. I think this one fits us a little bit more. House of Cards? Anyone? I never saw it.
Until I learned that Kevin Spacey was a gay pedophile. I loved it.
It was a good show.
I told Wick in private. I think of like when you think about Kevin Spacey and all of his talent, it's so disheartening to hear that he's not the type of character that you would hope that he was. It's just because he's so talented. It just sucks. You guys ever watch Narcos?
I have watched a couple episodes.
Yeah, me too.
That's generally when I'm watching TV. I'm laying in bed. It's after work. And if I'm having to read it, I'm probably going to fall asleep at some point.
Does Arrested? I'm gonna skip over some things and ask specific shows that I think are deserving. Arrested Development, a top 15.
No, I'll put it in the top 15. I'll put it in the top 20.
I'll put it in the top
20,
15.
Yeah,
top 20, top 15 for me. Seinfeld, who is 21 on this list. I don't like Seinfeld.
See, we're talking about greatest shows of all time or binge watching shows.
Well, greatest shows of all time also can be. I kind of think they're the same thing because if they're great, they're bingeable to me. Like it doesn't matter. Like
Seinfeld, Top. If we're talking about greatest shows of all time.
I binged Frasier. You know what I mean? And I know you're a big fan of it. I thought it was okay, but I still binged it because I thought it was a good show. You know what I mean? So I think great and bingeable. If you can sit through it for several episodes in a row, I think that qualifies.
Well, then, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I think Seinfeld's, the second greatest sitcom of all time.
What was your number one? Did we hear it yet?
Sitcom of all time?
Yeah.
Fawlty Towers.
What was it?
Fawlty Towers.
The English show, right?
Yeah, with John Cleese. I mean, it has the single best.
John Cleese is in that?
Yeah, he's the...
I know I downloaded like a couple of episodes.
He runs the end. And the funniest episode I've ever seen in television history is he has Germans coming over. They've booked to stay in the hotel. And he keeps reminding Manuel, his Spanish kind of busboy, does everything around the restaurant, around the entire inn, to not bring up the war because it'll offend them. And then they're putting up a giant moose head in the lobby while he's telling Manuel all of this, and the moose head drops on John Cleese, and he gets a concussion. So when the Germans come, all he can talk about is the war. And then he starts goose stepping for them, like with John Cleese and the long legs.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I hear that it's overrated. Anybody watch that?
It's one of my favorite shows until this last season. I think it's starting to lose steam, but it's already been renewed for another season.
Twin Peaks.
Top 10.
Top 10 for Wick.
I didn't watch it.
I tried. When people
tried to watch the reboot, or not the reboot, but the continuation.
When I watched the original one, I was like, why are people like dancing in a hotel in different shirts? It was weird. It was like an acid trip for a minute. The West Wing.
Top 10.
Top 10. All right. Now we're getting into Wick's wheelhouse.
Maybe top 5.
I didn't watch it. I downloaded it every season, actually, because I think I asked Wick at one point, what show do you think I should download and watch that you don't think I'll watch? And you said West Wing. I said, all right. And I went and downloaded it, and I didn't watch
it. He pegged you well. Let's see. Some of these better.
You gotta like Aaron Sorkin.
Does Better Call Saul hit anybody's top 20?
Oh yeah.
Scott.
I love Better Call Saul. I can't wait for the next episode after I watch it, and that's why I keep looking for it. It hasn't been on. I don't think it was on last year at all because of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of shows weren't. HBO's Rome. Didn't watch it.
Loved Rome.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched both seasons. I was really disappointed that they finished it after 2. But
is that the penis show?
Huh?
Is that the penis show?
There are penises in it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Like
so are Game of Thrones, but it's basically the fall of Caesar, season 1, and then they go on to season 2 where Cleopatra and the Egyptians are involved.
I should watch that.
It's history with the fake drama mixed in. I loved it. I thought it was really good. But it mostly follows these 2 Roman soldiers and centers around them.
Doesn't Syrian Hines play Caesar?
He's a guy that I really like. I don't know his name, but let me see.
The long-faced guy?
Yeah, the long-faced guy.
Yeah, that's him.
He was great.
Bruce Campbell. All right, so
he's a long-faced guy. This guy looks like he has his mouth open but his lips shut.
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about.
Battlestar Galactica, top 50, top 20 for anybody? I would put it in my top 20 for sure.
Okay, it goes in my top 10.
Wick's never seen it, right? Okay. You guys watch The Boys Prime?
The what?
The Boys?
I watched The Boys.
That's a new one.
The show, Wick, before you.
Oh, sorry.
6 Feet Under?
Top 10.
Top 10?
Yeah.
Top 10 for you?
I think I've named 12 top 10s, but yeah.
You can put it in your top 50. Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, man.
Top 20. All day.
Yeah, top 20.
Yeah, they got it at 41.
I still don't understand how you love Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Isn't that weird?
Seinfeld.
I love Larry David. I do not think Jerry Seinfeld's that funny.
Well, the show is Seinfeld is Larry David.
I know.
No. He says it in Curb Your Enthusiasm that George is based on him. He gets mad when people call George dumb. The dumb one.
Curb Your Enthusiasm is brilliant. I don't know. I love Larry. This Is Us. My wife would say yes, no. Oz.
I like Oz.
I watched first 2 seasons, and the 3rd season lost me. I quit watching.
Did you see when Seinfeld was on SNL and they did that piece of merging Oz and Seinfeld?
I have not seen that.
And Jerry was in Oz. The guy comes up to him and he's like, I got stabbed with a hypodermic that had AIDS on it. And Jerry's like, well, good luck with all that. Just
What was that? What was that on?
Saturday Night Live.
The only thing that I'll never forget was Scott talking about Jerry Seinfeld once. He was talking about the Raisin Bran commercial.
That was when I saw him live at the Fox.
2 scoops. We need more scoops.
There you go. They said now with extra scoops. He goes, we don't need any more scoops. 2 scoops is enough. We need more scoops.
2 scoops is enough.
I saw him live.
I love the Seinfeld impressions with the Southern accent.
Yeah,
that's so good. The Seinfeld with Southern accents is so good.
I cannot escape the Southern accent. I have tried.
We're gonna wrap up here shortly, but we got started late. Now this is one that I saw that I recommend to anyone. I thought The Shield was phenomenal. Have you guys seen that?
No, but I need to see it.
I've seen all of them. I liked it.
Yeah. Top 20 for me all day. That is a great show.
That and Southland, they kind of come in. They're similar to me.
Southland
might have been a little bit better, actually.
Friday Night Lights, top 20 for me. Might even be a top 5.
Yeah, I didn't like the movie, so I didn't watch the show.
The show's great. Wick, ever watch Friday Night Lights?
Just saw the movie. I
think you would. Wick, I think you would like the TV show. It's really good. I love it. I got a friend who just rewatched it and was like, it's just as good the second time. The Friday Night Lights show, the TV show, is really, really good. Way better than the movie.
Really?
Better. Yeah. Oh my God. It's a great show. High school drama. I love that. I love high school kids drama. I love it. But no, it really is good. Daredevil. I guess Netflix.
Oh, that's a great show.
Did you watch?
I'll go top 15.
No,
now you cannot know Vincent. What's his name? What's his last name? Vincent D'Onofrio. He plays Kingpin, and the way that he does this character is just phenomenal. There's like all of this spin about that he's spinning it, and everybody else that they want to bring him as Kingpin into the MCU universe because he was so good. And he's in all 3 seasons. Season 2 is not as good as season 1 and season 3, but that's where they introduced Punisher, which Punisher was awesome too.
Was it really? I didn't watch either one of them.
It's amazing. Those 2 were the only 2 out of all those Marvel shows they did on Netflix that were good. Yeah.
Mad Men, I tried. I hated it.
Didn't understand it. I don't understand the
love for it. Yeah, I thought it was boring.
I got through the first season. I'm like, okay, I'll give it. And then people said, well, if you didn't like the first season, it doesn't really get.
And you're like, good for me.
Nah, I'm fine.
Makes my life easier.
I mean, I understand the idea behind it, but it just didn't.
Did you watch it, Scott?
Yeah, I watched the first couple of seasons, and I kept waiting for it to get good.
Yeah.
I was trusting the hype, and didn't pay off for me.
Mindhunter go into anybody's top 20?
Oh, top 10.
Top 10 for Wick.
Yes, it's my 13th top 10.
Well, you can. I told you expand it to.
Mindhunter might be. Mindhunter might be.
It might push some others back into the 15.
That's okay.
It might be my top 5.
But I can't even think of.
They're not. They're done.
Sit down in numbers.
It's over.
Yeah, it is over.
Oh, they quit doing it because it costs so much money.
It cost so much money, and David Fincher was working like 70-hour weeks, and he was just zapped.
Didn't he kind of say like, "I'm done with it"?
I think so, but I don't know. He's doing some stupid assassin movie now with Michael Fassbender. So
you'll never have a better assassin movie than Assassins.
I hate assassin movies.
What was Assassins?
That was
Sylvester Stallone
and Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I remember
that. Star Trek: The Next Generation. Do anything?
Made me want to be an assassin, huh?
Star Trek: Next Generation. Do anything for anybody?
Oh, I enjoyed the show. It doesn't fall into my tops anything, but there were episodes that I liked.
I cannot get into Star Trek: The Next Generation. I tried out of boredom, and I'm like, I just, it's so dated to me that it's really, everything's just gotten so large CGI wise that it's just like
Yeah,
it's hard for me to watch it. You know what I mean?
I watched it back when it was actually on. I haven't gone back and tried to watch it on Netflix.
I would definitely put this next show in my top 20. I think Justified is underrated.
I enjoyed this. I watched all of them.
Justified is great. Timothy Olyphant, Wick, anything there?
I haven't seen it.
Oh man.
Well, Timothy Olyphant is I like him as an actor, especially if he's playing like a cowboy type character.
Timothy Olyphant's the good guy, and who's the guy that's
he's funny too, and
he's very good in this.
Oh, the Santa Clara Diet.
Yeah, he is. Do you remember who's that guy that plays the enemy in that show? He's a guy. He's from
Coughlin. He's a guy from Hateful Eight.
Coggins.
Walter Goggins.
Walter Coggins is the bad guy in this. It's very good, dude. Walter Coggins does an amazing job in Justified.
He's from Georgia.
Yeah. I'd say Oliphant and Coggins together in this really make it special. I really
got Sam Elliott in the last season, right?
Yeah. Suits. Nothing for me.
Oh, I watched the first several seasons and I realized it's just the same shit rehashed over and over every season.
Meghan Markle, hot or not?
Oh, the princess? Or, yeah.
Yeah, no disrespect to her.
I don't know. I just hate her because of all the... I don't want to hate somebody because of what I hear through the press, but she sounds like a very controlling woman. And Prince Harry sounds like a pussy now.
Oh, well. Most of the hot women I know are controlling.
Well, she's got him to leave.
Wife.
This is the ultimate, though. She's got this guy to leave. You know,
really bothering Scott.
The palace in England and move over here.
Well, they did an interview with him. I don't know who he was talking to, but
now he wants to get involved in our politics.
Well, he basically said, "Listen, it's and Wick and I touched on this last week, which was." When we're talking about the Britney Spears situation, he's like, listen, I want out of that situation because everywhere I go, everything I do, every place I eat, everything I touch, the press won't leave me alone. And he was like, I just don't. And he was like, when I come across the ocean, I don't get that. Nobody bothers me like that. I get a little bit of it, but it's not like it is in England. And I could see that he's never going to be anything. Like his brother is going to be the next guy that steps up. And I think even if something happens to his brother, I think there's still somebody ahead of him that would still be king. And he's like, shit, dude, like nobody's getting, I don't really have any real.
Who wants to be king anyway? I mean,
and they're really just, gimmicks now. They're just symbols.
I had no issue with what he did because I think if you're in that situation and you're being treated and you can't do anything without somebody reporting it or saying something about it, or your marriage is always in trouble, or all this stuff's going on, like they treat you like that, and you're not going to get any benefit of being a king or anything like that, and you're like eighth in line. I'm going to take your 20 million or whatever you're worth. He's probably worth a lot more than that, and go somewhere else. I don't blame him at all. And if she talked him into it, I don't blame her. But I there are moments I think she's hot and moments I don't think she's hot. Wick, you break the tie.
I think she's hot.
There we go. She's hot.
Oh yeah, she's pretty.
We'll send her. We got to send her a plaque so she knows that the Dukes of Blather have anointed her. Here's one that's I haven't seen mentioned yet. You guys may love it, Mr. Robot.
Oh, too much like Fight Club for me. I tapped out.
Thank you. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I predicted the ending way before it happened, which is always a negative.
Yeah,
especially on a show that I was so into. I thought it was great.
You say Christian Slater, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. And then I'm with Wick. It was too Fight Club-ish. I don't like the multiple personality situation at all. And the moment that I started to clue in on that, I gave it up. I was like, I'm not watching. To me, a multiple personality thing is so easy to do.
It's been done.
Isn't it, Wick? I mean, it's so easy, isn't it?
It's already successfully been done.
Too many times.
A few times.
Once you see it, then okay. But after a while, it's like, that's just an easy out. To me.
So that's what I'm curious. Like, did anybody watch season 2?
I did, but I
think I got through.
Was it not as good? Because I forgot who's the guy who created it. The guy's name,
Mr. Robot.
Yes, it's like Simon something or
Simon Robot.
No, doesn't matter now.
It doesn't.
He wrote and directed every single episode of season 2. He took total control of season.
It was
2.
a good show. I would have liked it more if
Sam Esmail.
if it was real, like if all these characters were real, I think it would have been a much better show. But to find out that they're just, like just part of what's in his head, it was like, that's just so easy.
Well, that's his dad. His dad's in his head as a separate character
that's dumb.
Who drives him into doing the, having the hacking organization, being Mr. Robot, when it's him that's doing it.
Yeah, we saw that in Fight Club. Am I wrong?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Spartacus. No. Okay. Hannibal.
I never watched it. I thought the effects looked kind of neat. It was very much like 300, but
Hannibal I hear very good things about, but I heard that
underrated show.
Yeah, they could not get people to really watch it.
Mm-mm.
And now they're doing this Clarice show.
I liked what I saw, but I had a hard time staying with it.
I liked what I saw too, Scott. And Wick, I think he liked it. I don't understand why we're doing Clarice now. Like if Hannibal doesn't work, why are you doing Clarice? Because I find Hannibal's the more interesting person in that story, right? Of Silence of the
Because they don't have any other ideas.
God, I don't get that. It's like you had this really good show with Hannibal, which I think had a lot of potential, and you crap on it, and you cancel it. Then you might bring it back. Then you brought it back. Then you cancel it, and now you're going to do Clarice and think that that's going to be any better. I don't see that. Anyway, Community, Boardwalk, any of these do anything for y'all?
Boardwalk.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Boardwalk Empire.
Empire. Sorry.
Yeah.
I tried an episode or two, and I thought it was. I didn't like the time period. I guess piece. Community. I tried to watch. I didn't think it was that funny. I think it tried too hard. People say Handmaid's Tale is good, or
Handmaid's Tale. I've heard it's great, and I have it downloaded. I just watched the first episode, and it's one that you have to give a chance to. I think I'm willing to actually. I'm planning on watching that show still. I just haven't. But
I haven't watched it, but I've had friends that I never thought would watch that tell me how good it is. Wick, is it a top 20 show?
I haven't seen it, but I'm going to.
Okay.
All right, and here's one I'm curious about is The Outlander. Because I tried to watch it. I think I watched 2 episodes. It's a little boring, but now it's got a new season out. It's still on. And everybody says it's great. Has anyone watched The Outlander?
No.
Nope.
Okay, this started out on Stars. Now it's on Netflix.
I'll run over a couple of these quickly if anybody wants to shout. Louis?
Lou was great.
Top 20?
It was good. I liked Louis.
Yeah. Especially in that series of episodes when he was trying to get the Tonight Show.
Oh, yeah.
And David Lynch was his coach.
No, I remember that.
Yeah, it was so good.
Ash versus Evil Dead do anything for anybody? I thought it was
brilliant.
I thought it was good.
There we go. Top 10. Top 10.
Top 10
Really?
Scott.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Hell yeah.
You got to take into the fact that Evil Dead 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, yeah. Evil Dead. You know what? And Scott knows I'm an Evil Dead fan.
And
Evil
Army
Dead
of Darkness.
Evil Dead 1, great. Evil Dead 2, pretty good. Army of Darkness, what the fuck's going on here?
I loved it.
Wick is shaking his head. It was kind of like, okay, we go into time warp, or now we're in medieval times. And I just thought it had its funny moments, but the cheese factor went so far on that in Army of Darkness. It was just dumb.
Well, that's what's great. Like Ash
classic.
versus Evil Dead, they nailed it. It was really good. Like the very first scene, he's taking his time. He's getting dressed up. He's getting cleaned up, putting on his clothes, his aftershave. He goes out, gets in his car. He goes to this bar and he spins out where he lands perfectly into the parking spot. He goes in and the bartender goes, "It's last call, sir. What can I get for you?" He goes, he orders what he wants. He just gets there in time for last call, picks up a chick, bangs her in the bathroom, and goes home.
Oh my God. Scott in his 20s. Let's see. Flight of the Conchords.
Hilarious.
Does it make a top 20 for you?
Probably not top 20, but it's hilarious.
Probably got to wrap it up. Fringe is one that's on this list. I just popped up. I did like Fringe. I never finished it. Did you guys ever watch Fringe?
Didn't watch it.
I did. It was really good.
Wick, I think you would like Fringe, actually. Person of Interest. Where would you? Did you guys watch
Last you get to see Leonard Nimoy.
Did you guys see Entourage?
Oh, I hated Entourage.
Yeah, it was stupid, but I watched it and it still kept my attention. I watched it.
Man, is that not true? Like it is so pointless, but you watch it and you don't know why. I remember I got through I was up at the last season. And I looked at my wife and I go, I don't know why why I'm watching this.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you why.
Come on, these guys are they're young, they're in their 20s, and they're living this lifestyle that we would all love to have lived in.
Well, I was around that lifestyle. That probably why I didn't like it.
Let me ask you guys about a show here before we get out of here. The Americans.
Oh, that's a great show. I've seen the first 3 seasons, and I haven't finished it.
Show. I could see the Americans being a Wick show. Was it a
Wick
show?
Yeah, it's not as good as Homeland, but
dude, Homeland. Show. I still haven't found Homeland yet. Billions, How I Met Your Mother. Let me see. Lost.
Well, Homeland should be on HBO Max, right?
Yeah. Lost.
No, Homeland was on Showtime.
Was it on Showtime?
It was on Showtime. Lost. Anybody? Because I know people love Lost.
Yeah, that was one I was going to bring up earlier. That when we were talking about shows that just stayed on too long, that didn't end when they should have, and they really tried to stretch it out. I believe Lost did that. I think everybody figured out the concept right away, like they're in purgatory. So they tried to change it to something else. And plus they tried to make it longer because it's successful.
Yeah.
And so now it's almost forgotten. Just because of the way it ended, the way it just kind of faded off into oblivion.
Did you watch Lost?
Didn't watch Lost.
Let me tell you what Lost. Let me sum up Lost for you. Lost was great until I got lost. They're halfway through that show, like 6 seasons, 1 through 3. Me and my wife binged it. 1 through 3. We are so locked in. What is going on? Where are they? How could this be happening? Man, this is intense. 3, 4, 5, 6. I was like, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea if I'm in a fever dream watching this. It was like one big fever dream. Season 4, 5, 6 were fever dreams to me. So it was like I liked Lost until I got lost. That's what. Homeland comes in at 94.
Oh my God. Top 5.
Top 5 for you, Scott.
Oh, Homeland was top 5. I loved it.
Really? I got to try that then. It's the topic. It kind of seems boring to me when I read about it. And so I'm like,
No, it's not boring.
How's that 94? I mean, how many awards did that show win? It won several Emmys. What's her name? Claire Danes was
fantastic.
She was nominated for several Emmys, right?
Don't take it serious. I'm really trying to do is trying to scan this list to find something good. Because Prison Break is 93 and Homeland is 94. That tells you anything. Scrubs is 95. I don't think Scrubs is funny.
I want this guy's phone number who made this list.
Oh, on this list too, I would put the first couple of seasons in a top 20. 24.
It was a good show.
Yes, it was. Especially the first season was great. It was very intense.
I only watched the first season.
Okay.
So it was good.
I only watched the first 24 minutes.
24 is great.
It meant hours, Wig.
20,
I was like,
24.
I have to turn it off now.
He gets really confused when he watches 2020. He's like, I don't even know what the fuck to do right now. 2020. Is it 20 minutes, 20 hours, 20 seconds? I don't know what to do. 24 is great until you're looking for the bomb for the 4th time and you're like, okay. Yeah. Where's the bomb? It's like it's probably where it was the last 3 times. Since 8. Ozark comes in in the top 100. I think Ozark deserves better.
You know what show should be on here? And Big Love.
Never saw it.
Good show.
How was that? It sounds familiar. Big Love.
Big Love. Was that the one that was about the guy who had multiple?
Yeah.
Okay. Multiple wives.
Yeah.
Was it
that sounds. Whoa! Was that Paxton?
Yeah, Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen every episode. Yeah.
What did you think? Top 20?
I thought it was great. It kept my attention. I don't know if I'm putting it in the top 10 or not. All right, we'll go ahead and say top 20.
You can put it in the top 20, buddy. You have like 100
Why
shows.
can't I overthink these things?
Just say, hey, you know what? I would put that in my top 20. That way you're safe. You're trying to cram like 10 pounds of shit into a 5-pound bag, dude. You can't do it. Like you just,
Right.
like just you can move on.
Here's the thing: it's like I've watched so much TV and slept so little in my life that
I was going to ask, how
you
do
bring up things that I've seen that it just hits me like, holy crap, yeah, that's top 10. Now I can't remember what I put in my top 10 that I take out.
How much do you sleep a night?
I like after 3 hours I wake up and then I'm up till like daybreak. And then I'll just go ahead and get up. Then I might lay down, get too tired right before work, and I sleep a couple hours. And I go to work. I come home, fall right to sleep almost. It's all messed up, man. It's probably I probably just need to train myself. Huh? Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I fall asleep for 3 hours, I'm exhausted. Then all of a sudden I'm wide awake. My sleep's just I need to go to sleep.
What it sounds like to me, and I'm no doctor, but it sounds like
the TV off.
You go to bed really late. And then when the sun comes outside, like God intended for you to get up, you then awake. And then you go, I don't know how to go back to sleep. Like your brain's triggered to wake up during the sun time.
I know I used to do that all the time.
No, I'll wake up at like 2:33 in the morning. Like I'll go to sleep, but when I get home from work, I'll turn something on. I might watch an hour of something. And then I doze off while the TV's on. Wake up around 2:33. Can't go back to sleep. Wide awake. The sun's up.
That's wild.
Still can't go back to sleep. Then I get tired. I get this nap right before I go to work. Go to work tired. I just drink a ton of sweet tea, which there's my problem most likely is because I come home wired up on sugar and caffeine.
We've always been a night owl.
Yeah.
And I've always been a night owl. It's true.
That's true. I have too. All right, guys. Like I didn't know that the show was going to take this turn and go into binge. I hope everybody enjoyed it though. I thought it was a lot of fun. Reminiscing some of the shows. Is there anything on these lists that you wish were there that aren't?
Oh, a lot.
What would be your top
anything
show?
Nicolas Cage has done?
Anything Nicolas Cage has done?
I've found he's gotten into a horror movie streak here lately, and he's so far I'd say he's a 95% bet to watch. Like next week we'll talk about Willy's Wonderland.
Is that a movie he's in? Was that Mandy movie he just did? Good? Was that Mandy movie? Mandy or something?
Oh, Mandy, I didn't care. I think it's overhyped.
Yeah.
It's mostly a crowdfunded movie that he starred in. That wasn't bad.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
But Willy's Wonderland was
the weirdest career of any actor I can think
hasn't
of.
He?
Good Lord.
I want to be Nicolas Cage. I want to live that life where like I'll just say yes to anything as long as I get to play a badass. And I'm the main character. I don't care. Sucks or not.
Do you think he writes that to his manager and he's just like, or his agent?
I think he spends so much money he has no choice.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's to the point now where surely he's covered that ground. He's surely sat down with a financial advisor at this point, and he's made so much money since we first heard about him going bankrupt, or I don't know what it was that happened to him financially, but that he's covered that ground by now.
Cocaine is expensive.
So he's still doing
hell of a drug, Scott.
Is he still doing cocaine?
Hell of a drug.
It causes you to make bad financial decisions while you're on cocaine.
Okay, well maybe I don't know.
But I don't know if he's on cocaine. I know.
I just watched Ghost Rider for the first time recently because it's on Netflix, and I thought it was awesome.
Really? I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, I know. That's why I liked it. I don't know. It was like when he's screaming down the streets on that bike, and all the windows bust open, and he's fired. Everything's exploding behind him. It's awesome, man.
All right, Wick. Give me one or two shows that you wish that you would put on this list.
Rectify. Faulty Towers. Frasier.
Yep.
Scott said it all in the family. Incredible show. MASH.
MASH was boring. Scott, what would you add to this list that was not on here?
Well, Rectify would be one of them. It's funny that I'm going to agree with Wick on most of them. All in the Family. What else did I see that wasn't on there? We've gone over a lot of shows, man, so it's hard for me to.
Yeah, that's the thing too. I mean, when you go through all those, I mean, it's amazing what they do skip on though, and what should be on there and is not on there.
Cheers. I mean, how does Cheers not
Cheers and Cheers, News Radio,
Night Court.
Night Court.
Are they doing a new Night Court?
No.
That's
no, they can't.
I don't care if they are. They're not going to have the same people on there. So,
John, what's his name?
John Larroquette.
Yeah, I think they're doing a show around him. Is what I could have swore I heard.
Is he going to play his same character?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's a Night Court reboot type of thing.
Isn't Harry dead? Harry,
yeah. That I don't know how you do that.
I was surprised to hear that.
Yeah,
he died. He's young. He was young, right?
Yeah, he was not old. No.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer is not on there. Yeah. Which I tried to go back and binge, and I thought it was okay, but I'm like, you know what? It's so dated. It really is dated. Surprise Battlestar Galactica. I mean, we saw that on the list, but they were really low on the list. Mandalorian probably will end up on there down the road.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about Ozark too. It hasn't had enough time to age for me to put it on a list like that.
I'll tell you what I thought deserved to be here. I'm floored that it's not even in the top 100. ER.
Yeah. ER was a good show.
I never watched it.
ER is amazing, and I think probably what hurt it is that it took so long for it to come out where it's on a streaming service. I think it just came out on a streaming service like last year.
Yeah, like there's a big generation gap on this list. Yes. You can tell.
So it's I mean, it's interesting. It's really interesting when you look at these. But I had fun, guys. I'm gonna let y'all go to bed now because I know it's getting late. But we appreciate everybody watching. Please tell people about us. Share us. Again, we will be doing an audio version of this where I mix it all down and cut some things and all that stuff and edit it out. It'll be on Podbean, iTunes, all that stuff. Just look for Dukes of Blather or hit any of us up and ask us where to go. We can get you a link. I appreciate everybody listening, everybody watching us on Facebook. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Scott, had fun. Yep. Thanks for coming on this week and doing this.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you'll be back next week. Wick, as always a pleasure, man. Always have fun. So I hope everybody has a great week. I'm Sam. That's Scott. That's Wick. We're the Dukes of Blather. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Y'all take care.
Watch Rectify.